It's ZynVaded week on the Game Room from the fantastic independent game maker We Have Issues Publishing. Like, subscribe, and comment all week for your chance to win the choice of a 2-player starter box or the new Don't Let the Zed-Bugz Bite starter box. You'll also get your choice of 2 Mercs models when the Kickstarter ships. The winner will be chosen from the YouTube comments on this week's videos, so get those comments in for your chance to win. It's ZynVaded week on the Game Room.
Welcome to the game. Hey guys, welcome back. We are in the middle of ZynVaded week, and this is part 2 of our Let's Paint the Yellow Combat team. We just built our model and showed you how to do that in the last video. She's been primed, and now we're going to go ahead and paint her. So let's get to it and show you how I did this one. Okay, so here she is, and we're going for this look. Okay, so you can tell we've got some work to do. Just get a little bit here. Okay, so she was primed with demonic yellow, and so you want to make sure you have whatever you primer with, whatever base color, make sure you have the 100% match army painter go with it. That's for touch-ups, things like that. We're also going to need our gunmetal and weapon bronze. The gunmetal is for the metal parts, the guns, and the weapon bronze is just to bring out some of the, just to vary it up, break up some of the silver. We'll need to figure out what color we're going to paint our bug, and for that she has skin, her face here, and her armor pieces under there, right there. So we'll do the guns in silver. We're going to do the black, which we're going to use our black Templar, our contrast paint, to do these areas, just like we've done on these other models. And we'll do the pouches here. We'll do those with snakebite leather. Contrast, I like that one. I don't think these others had pouches. It was all on there. So she's got a bag here, and this is probably metal. We'll do this one metal. We'll do this one in the brown, and then we will do an all-over wash when we're done with Null Oil. Mainly because I'm out of the dark tone Army Painter wash. So, Null Oil I had, and it will work. So, with that, let's get started. I'll pause here for just a moment. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start with our black Templar. And always want to make sure you've got your paper towel nearby and close, and to pick up any spills, anything like that. We're going to try it different. Change the angle here real quick. Okay, and so with that, we're going to paint these pieces of her armor like you saw in the other models, and I think that's probably it for our black. I've got 2 different brush sizes, a smaller one to get in the really small areas, and a bit larger. My normal brush for this is just too big for these tiny areas, so that's just not really an option with this guy, with this particular model. So we'll go ahead and get started. And for this, you just want to, be careful. You don't want to get it all over your yellow. While the demonic yellow will let you touch it up, you don't want to if you don't have to. So just be careful how you put this in. Like I said, if you do make a mistake, you get it in a spot where you don't want it. Let it dry, and then go over it with the demonic yellow. And like it should. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and finish up these black areas, and we'll be right back. Okay, with the black complete and the touch-ups done in yellow, just to let you know, the black Templar, you may need to do 2 coats. It's very thin paint, but it does a great job of getting down into those crevices. So as you can see right here, hopefully you can, that's still some of the yellows poking through. So I'm going to just do it again with the black and with the black Templar, and just go over that one more time. But you'll see it got down into those recesses, and so now you're just covering up the top. And I'll smear this over here. Not as dark as I wanted it, but that's it. Just be very careful. And if you're having trouble, or like some of these areas like way up under it, don't worry about that. Number one, nobody can see that. And when we wash this model with the Nuln oil, it's going to get in there and it's going to darken up all of those recesses. So, like, look down her back here where you can see these crevices. That Nuln oil is going to get in there and make those nice and dark so that they really, really show up. Okay. So you don't have to paint those, so don't try. I also want to do her gloves, so we're going to go ahead and do those in black. So again, just be very careful around your areas that you want to keep yellow. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do all of her gloves, and I'll be right back. Okay, with the black done and the yellow touched up where necessary, we're going to move on to gunmetal. And so talk to you a little bit about a palette. I'm using a wet palette. If you're new to this, what a wet palette does is it's a piece of parchment paper, like, basically, and there's a sponge under here that you keep wet. And what it does is it helps your paint last longer. This paint over here, which you can't see, but like this paint I've had here for a couple days. Here, let's try this again. This paint's been over here for a couple of days, and it's still wet, and it's still usable. So it does help your paint last longer. It doesn't dry out nearly as fast. Now, these have an expense all to themselves. So if you're brand new, this is brand new to the hobby, do yourself a favor, go get, something like this. You get a whole bunch of these sheets. It's just a sheet of paper that'll help you, as a palette itself. It's not normal paper. But it's I want to say this was like $11, something like that. Before, make sure you're going to get into the hobby before you put a lot of money into the hobby. If it's something that you're really going to get into, yeah, go invest in a wet palette, save the paint, it'll be great. If you're just trying to get your ZynVaded guys painted with minimal colors, minimal fuss, and you'll probably never do this again, then just, go get a cheap Citadel palette, paper, and you'll be fine. Okay, well, anyway, with that said, we're going to do the silver. The silver we're going to paint all the metallic areas, so the guns, the big gun here. We're going to do this whole thing in the gunmetal silver color. And there's a couple pieces. I'm going to paint this piece on her hip in metal just to kind of break up some of this yellow. And anywhere else that you think that you want to not be yellow, you want to paint it, silver. Yeah, it's your model. Do what you want. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and paint those. It's going to take a few minutes, so I'll be right back. Okay, with the gunmetal done, and 3 places that I wanted to do that, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to paint her skin. She's going to be a red bug, so I'm going to put Blood Angel's red. Before I do that over that yellow, since that red is not really going to cover the yellow that well, Gray Sear is the base that's recommended for contrast paints. So I'm going to take some of my Gray Sear base paint here, and I'm just going to basically reprime her skin with that. So that way, once this is dry and I do the red, it will look like it's supposed to. If you don't have the Gray Sear gray base paint, a white paint will do also. And who knows? I mean, I haven't really tried it. The red may look just fine over the yellow. I don't know. I'm just going to show you this, so that way in the future you know if you want to do something different. Okay. So now with that dry, I'll come back and we'll do red. So now I'm going to use the Blood Angel's red to just be very careful with this. You don't want to glue this on. You do want to go a little heavy so that you don't recess. You don't want to put this all over the red or the yellow. So you're just going to be repainting your yellow. The goal here is to get these down as quickly as possible. Alright, now we have her and touch up the yellow around. Okay, she has that one pouch that we said we're going to do in snakebite leather. So we're going to do that, and that pouch is right here on her right hip. And it's one of the things I really like about these contrast paints is generally one coat, it'll paint, it'll wash, and it'll highlight all in one shot. So it makes it really great to get stuff painted quickly. You can see that it has got down in the recesses, dark, the other parts of the leather are lighter, and they're just good. I really enjoy these. Okay, the last thing before we wash is to use our bronze, our weapon bronze color, to pick out a few things. I like to pick out like the little circles, just to break up all this silver. Really, that's all it's there for. It's just to give it a different. I mean, that's a whole lot of silver to look at. So the weapon bronze would just give you, it'll just break it up a little bit for you. Okay, with all of our colors dry, our last step is to wash the model with Melon oil, and always give your washes a good shake. And I'll use a much bigger brush this time. And this, you're just going to go over the entire model. I would suggest doing it in sections because this can dry quickly. Like I'll start with the arm and do the whole arm. You don't want it to pool anywhere, so you want to get it on and then move it around. And once you've got it moved, once you get in the areas that you want, then go ahead and, if you have too much on there, you can take it off. So I'll show you that here in just a second. I'm going to get the whole arm completed. I'm going to look at it and say, I got a little too much right there. So I'm just going to dry my brush off. I'm just using my brush to take it off. Still want to move it because I don't want brush strokes, but there I can lighten it up just a touch. I'm going to go ahead and finish her off, and we'll be right back. Okay, if now that the yellow, the melon oil is dried on the yellow, still not completely dry on the buttons, but if anywhere you got a little too much, maybe you didn't get it cleared off, you can always go back and touch it up with, just get some of your yellow and just go back and hit the high points wherever you think you got a little too much. Just make sure you want to blend it in really good. So you just want to lighten that back up so that it doesn't look super dark. Okay, with the silver completely dry now, we're going to do the same thing, just to kind of highlight a few areas, especially the edges. We're just going to take our bolt gun, we're just going to bring it down to the edges, just to brighten those up. And anywhere you feel like you got a little too dark, you can go ahead and do the same thing. Okay, and with the silver re-highlighted, you can see that really kind of helps make that sniper rifle stand out, as well as the pistol. She's done. So the next step is to go ahead and get her glued into her base. And for that, we're just going to use our super glue. Now you probably want to go ahead and position her on the base first. Where do you want her to stand? So you get an idea of, okay, yeah, like that. Make sure she's going to stand. Good, okay. And not only would I glue the peg here, which is going to go into that hole, but a little glue on the bottom of her foot, bottom of both feet. Not really too much on my foot, so I'm going to wipe some of that off. Then, about where I wanted to place her, just like that. Hold her tight, you know, but not too tight. If you push too tight, you may break her, but we don't want to do that. Just gonna hold her down for a moment, let the glue set, and our yellow combat team is done. All right, so here they are all together. All right, again, it doesn't take long. It took longer for her to dry than it actually took to paint her. We only used a handful of colors, one wash, a few contrast paints, and you know, a couple of 3 war paint. So you don't have to buy tons and tons of paints if you're brand new to this. If you're in the hobby and you've been doing this for a long time, you already have all of this. You already have all of these paints, brushes, you have all of that. So this video is really geared towards those who are relatively new, those who just want to get their models painted quickly to a tabletop you know, standard, and that's all I go for. I don't spend a ton of time, as it is, painting tabletop standard. I have so many models, I'm going to live to be at least 1,000, 1,500 years old. So that's not what it's about, guys. If you want to paint to that, you know, award-winning standard, there are some fantastic painters out there that kind of go through and teach you how to do that. I don't have the time for that. I don't want to spend all my time doing that. I really just want to get my stuff painted to a good tabletop standard, and that's what you're seeing here with these guys. is from what I call 3-foot distance. These guys look fantastic from 3 feet away. Even up close, they look good. Probably not going to win any awards. There's mistakes in there, but who cares? That's not what it's about. It's about slapping some color on them, making it look cool, and having fun. And that's what it really comes down to: is playing the game with some cool looking models with your friends, your family, whoever. That's what it's all about. It's fun, and ZynVaded fits into that perfectly. Small footprint, you can take it, play with it anywhere, which is still one of the things I'm geeking out about, years after this thing has come out. Just a handful of models. So you can see it's done. 3 models, my whole team is done. If I want to add a mercenary to it, well, we've painted those, and there's other videos that are happening this week that we're showing some of those models as well. So now I have a yellow, a red, a green, and a white combat team. I can play 4 players comfortably, and everybody's going to have fun. So anyway, I'm going to shut up. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you think of this. Let me know what you think of ZynVaded. The Kickstarter is actively going on. At the time this is being aired in December of 2021, if you're watching it afterwards, you'll be able to buy it off the website or at your, at a convention, Gen Con at least, and a few others. But if you're watching it during December, jump on it. We'll put the Kickstarter link down there so you can jump on it and pledge. It's a fantastic game. You'll love it. And thanks for watching. Have a great evening. Bye now.